Okay, so as you saw before, I went ahead and reduced everything. You can go ahead in here and we have this 301, 301, 102 data set from the Crab Pulsar. Specifically chosen this one just because I know it's only a few hundred seconds and it's the Crab, so we're going to get a good enough spectrum out of this. Now we've just backed out and we're sitting right in the main directory that contains our full OBS-ID data set, if you want to call it that. And you can see here we have this nicerl3-spect tool right here. We're going to set our observation ID second, and we can set a BKG model type. That's our background model type. Again, I'll refer you back to that table to kind of determine what you want. And there's also this clobber parameter. We can go ahead and just hit enter, and nicerl3-spect is going to go ahead and run, and it's going to create the background in all the different files you might need. So I'll give that a few minutes just to run here. But the one thing that I want to just mention is that now with this new nicerl3-spect tool, you don't really need to worry too much about generating your ARFs and RMFs manually. Of course, you can still do that. You can still work with these tools manually, but the pipeline is there to really simplify so many things. Now this will take just a few minutes to go ahead and run. And while we have that going here, there is an entire thread dedicated to the complete spectral product pipeline. Again, linked in the description down below. It'll be right in here, and it'll kind of give you all the commands you want to do. One of the things is that you don't need to set a background model. It will just default to using Scorpion if you want to use Scorpion. The other thing that we can do is you can see here in this particular bit of documentation, you can specify a GTI file for whatever you want to do with specific good time intervals. And so you can see, again, this isn't really being the fastest. When we get to the nicerl3-LC tool, you'll see that that tool is much faster than this, but there's a lot more going on here. So you can see we have the background file, we have the night file, day file, ARFs, target ARF, sky ARF, the RMF, and everything's done right here. But what you have here is this XCM file that's being produced where all of this is going to be able to be loaded in pretty much one command into XSpec. So let's go ahead and demo that. We can come in and type in, go and load up XSpec. And you can see that everything's kind of coming right in here. You have this ignore bad, and everything is kind of just being loaded right away, right in here. So we can go CPD and back out to XW. And yeah, here's your spectrum. You can see it right in here, and that's using everything that we have going on right in there. If we, let's say, just for the sake of argument, we can just do a simple PHAVS by power law, and again, this is just for the Crab. We'll just kind of let it fit on its own, and then we'll plot. Again, it's actually not too bad of a really crude fit going on right now, but that's kind of what what you'd expect. But you can go ahead in here and see just how quick and easy it is for me to just generate stuff and start playing with things right away. Whereas before, we have to start messing with and dealing with those ARF and RMF files a lot like crazy. So this is really, really nice, and it's something that I wanted to incorporate into, or I wanted to actually come up with AutoNicer, but back with the Nicer data analysis webinar or workshop or whatever you want to call it back at the end of August, beginning of September 2022, that actually mentioned that they were going to go ahead and come up with nicerl3. So for those of you who are AutoNicer users, this is something that's going to be integrated right in there to generate those standard products for you, especially these Spectrum standard products.